Hello and welcome to formerly Once a Day, the Movie Day podcast. We are now Midnight Movie Talk, back almost 11 months later to talk about a pretty stacked lineup of Best Picture nominations for the Oscars this year. And with me, as always, is Ryan and Sky.
What up?
Oh, we are back.
Dude, 11 months.
And I mean, honestly, it's the perfect time to be back because we have, like you said, quite a lineup for the Oscars that's coming up, and we thought, you know what, it's been too long since we recorded a podcast, let's record a podcast, and here we are.
Yeah, especially since like the last podcast we did was like last year's Oscars, and that was just, a mess.
It was almost like a job that we had to go to watch these movies, or in 2018. It was a chore.
Yeah.
And for this lineup this year, though, I was like, what's the next one I gotta watch? Because I'm like, I have to keep watching these. Like, yeah, it was really impressive.
Yeah, I think one of the Best Picture nominees from 2018 I gave higher than a 7. And for this year, I think I gave one a 6, and the rest are 7s or higher. So, pretty big difference there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I don't think I gave a rate. Did I rate anyone lower than a 7? I don't think so. What about you, Sky?
I got like 2 6s. I mean, they're like in between, but like, yeah, two 6s, and then the rest are above.
Oh, you know what? I think I do have 1 6, and I know which one it is.
Well, we'll get into that soon enough.
Yeah.
So, we're just going to see where we're at for time, but we're going to go through our Best Picture nominees, see how we feel about them, where they would rank as far as our favorites of those Best Pictures, and we're actually going to give our 2 cents on whether or not we think they have a chance to win Best Picture come Sunday. So,
yeah.
I guess if we're going alphabetically, I guess we could do this either way, but we'll go numerically first and talk about 1917, directed by Sam Mendes. After that nice little one-shot at the beginning of Spectre, he just kind of went out and said, we're just going to make a whole movie like that. And it was really good. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, he grabbed Roger Deakins.
Yeah, I don't think he did Spectre, did he?
You know?
Roger Deakins.
I'm not sure now.
I don't know.
I can't really remember.
I'm gonna be honest, I haven't even seen Spectre, but I've heard it's like one of the better Bond movies with what's his face in it?
Craig? Yeah, I think
Craig?
you heard wrong
Yeah.
on that one. But,
Casino Royale is the best one that he's been in.
yeah, Skyfall was pretty good, and I think Deakins did do Skyfall.
That's the one, I think. Yeah, I was going to say, one of them was shot really well.
Spectre was the trash one, okay.
Yeah.
Well, Quantum of Solace was really bad, too. It's pretty
Yeah,
close.
that's also fair.
Oh, okay.
But 1917.
I'm not a James Bond guy, so I've only watched like the very first James Bond movie ever because one of our good friends made me watch it, so that's why I've seen it. But other than that, I haven't seen any James Bond movies, so yeah.
You just hate
Not
the
even
British.
Casino Royale?
No, that's on my list though. I gotta watch that one. I know that, but
Yeah, you should watch it.
I don't know why they're just not appealing to me. They don't just say, hey, watch all 40. How many are there? 40 something.
Too many.
James
Nick
Bonds?
would know. I would know.
Yeah.
Too many.
But 1917 was great. Back to the subject at hand. Tricked to be one shot. It wasn't truly one shot, but it was definitely fluid enough.
Yeah, I watched an interview recently where Sam Mendes, I think it was Roger Deakins. Roger Deakins said the longest shot in that movie was like 7 minutes long, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is crazy.
Because there's definitely some hidden cuts I noticed. Like some of them are really obvious, but all the other ones, or most of the other ones, are really hard to tell and pretty seamless. There's a lot of tricky camera movement, lots of really highly coordinated scenes with lots of extras and explosions. It's like super, super well shot. Definitely winning the cinematography Oscar.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I would agree.
And well
down,
deserved.
It's gonna win that. as much as it pains me. I want Lighthouse to win, but
yeah,
I just
Lighthouse was super
it's
well
not
shot
gonna-
for sure, and it'd be nice to see it win.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to be 1917. There's no way.
yeah, that's the lock of the night for sure. 1917
Yeah.
for cinematography.
Yeah, that one for sure. But as far as best motion picture though, I mean, I did like it. I think I rated it a 9. I still have it at a 9. It was very good for a war movie, and like typically like war movies don't age well with me because they, that's just how they are. But this one I could see like it would probably do well over time for me, but I'm definitely gonna buy it. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I have only seen it once, and I will say, watching it in a theater, it's quite the experience. Like, I was like at the edge of my seat the whole time with the tension, like the build up, the soundtrack. I will say, I am curious to see how I will like it the second time, because like you'll know when things are or are not gonna happen, and so like the building of the tension might not be as like. I guess abundant or like clear. So second time it might not be as good, but like few movies that's the case anyway. But I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed my first watch. I'd give it 9 out of 10 as well.
So I have had my first and second watch of this movie, and it was super good both times. And just a lot of people are saying like the one shot is a gimmick and it doesn't really help the movie at all, which I thoroughly disagree with. It's just like one of those things where it's like when you're a soldier, like you don't know what's around the next corner, and when you're peering up the trench, it's like a lot of soldiers get PTSD just from like obviously living through it, but like just seeing the movie, just like that, the way that it's shot just really enhances the movie for me, at least, especially in the scene where he goes down the trench passing virtually every one of the 1,600 soldiers, of which if he doesn't succeed his mission, they're all essentially going to die.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the best scenes of the movie. The way that it's shot definitely helps the movie, and it's not a gimmick whatsoever.
No, I would agree. I think it like if this movie wasn't like edited to look like one shot, I feel like it would definitely like weaken it, because it like the whole point is to like put you in this like tense situation with two people getting from point A to point B. And if like, yeah, like if I don't feel like I'm in real time with them, I feel like that would definitely like take me out of the movie or make me like maybe bored or something, which I never was bored in this movie, like at all.
Yeah, and also like in terms of the whole one shot thing, it takes place over one day, right? So like the sun's up at one point and it gradually goes down, and as it goes down, night comes in, and you're still in the same, like with the same characters, on the mission, continuing, and it's just one endless story. Whereas with other war movies and stuff, it happens over the course of like several weeks or several days. So it was definitely a unique spin on it, and I appreciated it for that.
Yeah, and a lot of people are saying too that they didn't really appreciate like the characters in the movie, that they didn't really have much. I disagree with that as well. And it's not just because like these people have known each other for a while, and like in the course of a day they wouldn't go over like all their like character traits and important things in their lives to make normal people care about them. But there were enough like small scenes and little nuggets that do show you their characters, and I think it did it really well in a really subtle way.
Yeah. It's not like Dunkirk.
Yeah, and Dunkirk was good too, but I don't know. I like this better for sure.
I do too.
Yeah, I mean, there's things I like about Dunkirk more than this, and then obviously there's things about this I like more than Dunkirk. I will say I like, the experience of this where it's just like going in chronological order, through a 24-hour time period, like approximately, all like real time, like feels very much gripping. Whereas Dunkirk had that weird 3 different times going on, which did not do it for me. But pretty much everything else I liked in that movie. But yeah, as far as 1917, I like the soundtrack decent amount. Ending theme. There's like 2 other themes like throughout the movie. I would say I really like the whole sequence at night where he's like running around, and there's just like flares going up, and like it's revealing like the wreckage of this city. And he just he has to sneak around and interact with different environments, and also like he interacts with the woman and her kid. Which how did we feel about that?
That was my one issue with the movie. The milk callback. It's kind of just unnecessary.
I didn't mind the milk callback. I just thought it was like, oh, like that's
it's really a really strange, weird, convenient, and just like kind of unnecessary for me because it doesn't really do anything for his character or for the story overall. It's kind of just like he happens to have milk.
Yeah, I think they're trying to have like a humanizing moment. Or like,
I mean, it kind of was humanizing without that, though.
No, I mean, I agree. It wasn't my favorite scene by any means, but
yeah,
that was it for me. Everything else in this movie worked.
All they had to do was just cut the milk out of it, and then it would have worked. You know, he would have cared for the child for a little bit there before he left, and then he would have been on his merry way. They wouldn't have had to do the callback, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think the point of the scene was more to, like, I guess be, like, a temptation for him to, like, sit there and, like, hide out with this woman and her kid and, like, maybe protect her. But he was, like, you know, he had to finish the mission for his friend.
Right.
And, like, I guess that's, like,
no, I get
what they were trying to do with it. But, yeah, it didn't... It felt a little out of place, I guess, but
yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. It is my second favorite out of the Best Picture nominees, and I would also give it a 9 out of 10. And I think this movie, oddly enough, has the second best chance to win Best Picture.
Interesting.
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Second best chance. I would say based on it.
Honestly, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think I would have figured it had the best chance because it won the Golden Globe. I guess I don't know how that all works, but that's interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was taking into consideration was that it did win the Golden Globe, and I feel like it's gonna get a lot more attention in the media, like for the war vets and stuff. I don't know. I'm thinking politically here, and it's
war movies usually
not really working out for me, but
well.
war movies usually,
1917 had a big box office run, and it was the last of these movies to be released theatrically, so it does have the most momentum behind it, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, it came out right around Christmas too. I mean, I feel like the wide release did. Yeah, I mean, I would, out of these 9, I would put it at, this is tough. Geez. I would say, honestly, I would say 4. I would say 4. It's close. I mean, my top 4 I like all very much. But I would say 4 for me.
It's going to be number 5 for me.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have ahead. But should we move on to, should we do Ford v Ferrari?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sure.
So James Mangold directed, starring Christian Bale and Matt Damon. It is about how Ferrari won, what was it, the last 4 years? I'm trying to...
Yeah, they had a long streak of the...
Yeah, Le Mans.
No. Yeah, Le Mans. I think they won like 5 out of the 6 Le Mans or something like that.
Yeah, either way, Ferrari was doing really well. And Ford was tasked with coming up with their own car to compete in like a 90-day period, and they had to get their own driver. And yeah, I liked this movie a whole lot more than I thought I would, because I had really no interest in like the basic plot. But everyone seemed to be really loving the movie. It's got a really high IMDb score on the top 250. It's got a decent enough Metascore, got a lot of buzz. Obviously, it's a Best Picture nominee. And I really liked it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I also liked it. I was kind of surprised too. I thought it was just going to be a boring racing movie, and I liked it I would say I did like it better than Rush. I mean, I liked Rush, but I think I like this one a little bit better. It felt more, because was Rush based on a true story?
Yeah, yes. It was.
Do you remember?
It was.
Also liked it better than Rush.
And this one was too.
Yep.
And I don't know. For some reason I just like this one better. I think maybe the casting might have been better in this one.
Yeah, I would.
As far as like,
I would agree with that. Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah, I think that might have done it.
I think it was way better paced than Rush was.
That's true. Just something. Yeah. I mean, the pacing was great in this too. Like it didn't bore me at all. Like it was just from scene to scene to, making the car better, making the car faster, racing it, pushing it to its limits, stuff like that. It's just like, how far are they really going to go? And it just kind of keeps the audience into it the whole time. And Christian Bale did a great job as the driver, and just like his relationship with Matt Damon's character and how they were kind of like tongue-in-cheek, it was good. They had chemistry there, and I like that.
Yeah. Christian Bale was fantastic. Matt Damon was pretty good as well. Also, Noah Jupe, Christian Bale's son in the movie, he was also in Honey Boy. He's fantastic in both movies.
Yeah, I really liked Christian Bale's wife in the movie too. I thought she was great.
Yeah.
Interesting character too.
Well, they felt like a grounded family. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't like the wife that was like being like super controlling. Like she was supportive of his racing role, and that's probably how it was in real life. But I'm just saying, like in a lot of movies like that, it's usually like the wife is like the one that's like, oh, you're going out to race, you're gonna hurt yourself or something.
Yeah, they weren't caricatures.
She was supportive. Yeah.
Yeah, I really
appreciated that.
I really liked the scene with her driving fast in their like shitty beat up car. And
Yeah.
and he's like not telling her like the truth about something, and she's like pissed about that and just like flying around people. And he thought, at first she was mad at him for like, going to meet, I guess, Shelby to potentially drive, but she's like, nah, you just gotta like keep me in the loop type of thing. And I was like, oh, that's probably more realistic versus.
Yeah, that is more realistic. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the movie as well.
Yeah, I didn't really have a whole lot of issues with the movie. Like, it was pretty by the numbers, but at the same time, like most of those movies kind of are. I think this was made like almost the best that it could be for a movie like it is. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. No, yeah. Like you're talking from like a true story perspective. Like it's as best as it can be.
Yeah, just like the way that it's like paced. Because I've seen other, like obviously Rush is like similar to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like kind of like sports autobiography type kind of movies. This is definitely one of the better ones.
I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Very well shot and edited. The sound category is very well mixed and edited.
Yeah, it was.
It's nice to see it
for
in a
sure,
theater.
like the racing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got too much to say about it. But yeah, I mean,
yeah,
enjoyed my
we can
watch.
leave it at that.
It's just a really solid movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Definitely closer to a 7 than a 9. But, and also I would probably say, what is it, my 6th favorite? Let me have a look real quick. Yeah, it'd be my 6th favorite out of the 9, which obviously is like on the lower half, but like we've been mentioning, like this is a really good year for the Best Picture noms. And I don't think it has a shot to win Best Picture whatsoever. But I'd be curious to see what you guys think of all that.
Yeah, I would say it doesn't have a shot to win Best Picture. I would say at all. But yeah, I'd give it a 7. Like I said, solid movie. Enjoyed my watch. I wouldn't hate watching it again, but I don't have like, I guess, the need to watch it anytime soon. But yeah, out of these, I would probably say it would be, I think, my 6th. Yeah, my 6th.
Nice.
Yeah, I have it at an 8 currently right now. And it could go down to a 7. I could see myself like not enjoying it, watching it again. I'm not sure if I'll buy it. I don't own Rush.
I forget if I own Rush or not, but I did kind of have a similar feeling of like over time, like I kind of forgot about Rush, so I'd be curious to see how this movie holds
Right.
up.
But for now, it'll be at an 8. And I think I'm going to place this one as my number 7 on the list out of the 9.
Okay.
Okay.
Moving on to Joe Rabbit. Directed by Taika Waititi, the director of Thor Ragnarok. Best Picture nominee. About a young boy named Jojo growing up in Nazi Germany with his imaginary friend Adolf Hitler, learning about his upcomings and why he maybe shouldn't be a Nazi. It's such a hard movie to pitch to people, and even when you watch the trailer, it's like, how does this movie work? Like at all?
Whenever I tell people, I'm like, oh, I really love Jojo Rabbit. That's a movie you guys should watch. Like if I'm telling just random people, they'll be like, oh, what's that about? And then I just kind of like stop and I go, it's a comedy about Nazi Germany.
Yeah.
And it takes place from the perspective of the Nazis, but it's different.
Well, it's like,
like it's so hard.
Perspective of like a Nazi youth, like ingrained in like that.
Yeah, like a young
doctrine,
kid
who doesn't, you know, kid growing up, he doesn't really know, and he's like being taught radical things, and like how that leads.
And like even the Hitler imaginary friend is like very like cartoonish, childish, like the way he would imagine him.
Yeah.
It's just like once you see the movie and understand, at least most people anyway, because this did get nominated for Best Picture, that it is really great. It is a super great movie. At least I think so anyway.
Yeah, we should also mention Taika Waititi is also Adolf Hitler.
Yep, director.
Which is great.
I think there is a bit of trivia. I think it was like 20th Century Fox or maybe like Searchlight said that the only condition they would make the movie when Taika was pitching it to them is if he would play Hitler.
Interesting. I could see it.
But yeah, worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it did. It was hilarious. I was laughing so much throughout this movie. And, like, it was entertaining, too. Like, the story was good, too. Like, usually for, like, comedies, sometimes, like, it'll be funny, but it's a bunch of random nonsense, and, like, the story doesn't, or the plot isn't developed or even remotely good. But this one had both elements.
The biggest things with those throwaway comedies is that they don't have stakes. And there's a scene towards the middle of this movie where you find out this movie does have stakes and it does have emotional scenes.
I would say movie had a
with
very
the shoe
powerful
callback.
Yeah, that was definitely very powerful. Like it had some some good drama, some heart to it. It wasn't just like a comedy.
But yeah, Scarlett Johansson, I didn't think was going to get a nomination, but she did for supporting, and she is the heart of the movie, and she was so good.
Yeah, honestly, the whole cast was pretty good for this. Like the young kid actor, fantastic.
The kid did really good. Roman Griffin Davis. Yeah, he got nominated for the Golden Globe, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, Scarlett Johansson's doing pretty good. She was in both of the two best motion picture movies that she was in.
Yep, like double nomination for acting too, supporting and lead.
She killed it this year.
Yeah, she's in Endgame. She had a pretty good year.
I don't know what made me think of this. I was just thinking of the movie, and I love when I mean, that's what's great about this movie. It's not afraid to go, like, I guess, dark. And when Rebel Wilson gives that kid, like, a grenade, and she's like, "Go hug an American" or something. It's got some twisted humor. But
it honestly made Rebel Wilson tolerable. Like, the movie made her tolerable.
Yeah.
And she was a little funny, I'm not going to lie.
I thought everyone was just, right on point for the tone of the movie, because it has a very weird comedic tone. And, like,
There's little jokes that are blink and you miss them, which are in my favorite comedies. I think every comedy should have those jokes where if you go back and rewatch, you'll notice more.
Mm-hmm. And the little puns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was good. Sam Rockwell was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very well casted movie.
Yeah. Really not a whole lot to complain about for me with this movie. It's pretty stellar. And it was not the movie that I expected to be that at all when I saw the trailer. I was very, very pleased. Yeah, it is, I think, my fourth favorite of the Best Picture nominees. I have it at a 9 out of 10. And honestly, I don't think it's the frontrunner to win Best Picture, but I think it is the dark horse to win Best Picture. Like, I think it would be, like, maybe third best chance for me, or fourth best chance. I think this movie could surprise people and win.
Yeah, I would say third or fourth best chance. I agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I have the movie at a 9. Out of these 9 movies, it's really tough in my top 4 for me. But I have it at 3. It could definitely it could go up to 1 potentially. I've only seen it once and I really enjoyed it. So, but yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's also I got it at a 9 also, and I'm in the same situation where I didn't know where to place it. It's definitely in my top 4, for out of these 9. So I also placed it at number 3 for me.
Nice.
But yeah, very solid movie. Will purchase.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I think it comes out like a couple weeks after the Oscars. But it is in theaters by at least me and you, Ryan, right now.
Oh.
It's at AMC.
Well, good.
That's how I got to see it a second time.
It's about time.
But yeah, it's well worth checking out. But the next movie we have is Joker. Directed by Todd Phillips, who helmed, of course, the Hangover trilogy, among other things. Here we have Joaquin Phoenix, Joaquin the Dream, playing Joker. And it's a movie about society. And about what it can do and how it can create a villain. And, what did you guys think of Joker?
Well, I thought Joaquin's performance was, I would say, probably the best of the year. Definitely deserves the Oscar nom for that. Besides that, everything else for me was either like fine or I was not on board with. I guess, spoiler alert, this is my least favorite out of all 9 of these. But yeah, there's just a lot of things in it that I guess didn't work for me. I almost wish it wasn't related to Batman at all. Like those sequences really didn't work for me. And then the obvious tie-ins to Taxi Driver, King of Comedy with like Martin Scorsese, producing it. It didn't feel super original either in certain aspects. But yeah, there's also like a reveal or a twist, and like that didn't work for me either. But I loved the soundtrack. One of my favorite soundtracks of the year. And yeah, Joaquin in it is, I mean, doing the best that he can. I mean, yeah. So.
Yeah, Joaquin's definitely a top 5 performance of the year for me. I'd have to think about that a little more. The score is definitely up there too. I will say, yeah, the screenplay is definitely the weakest element of the movie. There's lots of things throughout the movie where I wish it would be a little more subtle, or I wish, like you kind of alluded to, that it didn't bring in like Thomas Wayne and Bruce Wayne. it's just not really necessary to the whole arc of the Joker, at least in like the origins of the Joker anyway. But there's a lot of things it did do well. I think the production design is pretty good. I really like the way it was shot. Like, a lot of the technical aspects of this movie are very solid, but it's like the screenplay really just like brings it down for me. And I will say, yeah, and again, like, I like the movie. Like, I gave it a 6, but it is my least favorite out of the Best Picture nominees. It is a very stacked year. So, sorry, Internet, but Joker is my least favorite of the Best Picture noms.
Same.
What do you think, Ryan?
You know, when I first found out that Joker got nominated for like 8 different categories,
11.
Or 11,
leading all movies,
even worse. I was like, okay, what's going on here? Because clearly, the Academy is seeing something that I'm not seeing. But I looked past it. No, to kind of go off of what you said, Grant, about the production is, I thought there were like bright shining moments, like you were saying. One of them is the movie, had an overall dark tone to it, and like everybody was saying, "Oh my God, the Joker is so dark. It's rated R. It's dark because it's rated R. It's like, geez, how many times did I hear that the movie was rated R?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, okay, maybe it'll be. And it wasn't even that brutal, like for it being a rated R movie, like it was brutal at times, but it wasn't even like that bad.
Yeah, the tone kind of
like
made it feel
mild,
like worse than what was actually shown. And I think it is complimentary to the score.
Yeah.
But I will say though that like I felt like when I was watching it, the lighting was dark. Like it seemed like every scene was like dark. There really wasn't like a bright scene where he was like, in the sunlight or something. It was pretty dark. But I don't know, maybe they just had like a shadow or like a film shadow like the entire way through. But to me, didn't it feel dark, or is it just me? Like the lighting felt dark.
It did, but I think it was kind of on purpose to like match the tone and feel of the movie.
Yeah, and I appreciated that,
Yeah,
and
I mean,
kind of like I appreciate that same dark tone in Mr. Robot, in the show Mr. Robot. I appreciate that it's there because it adds to the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
And they did it in this movie, and it worked. I think it worked.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's just trying to fit into the tone of, like, society's beating down this guy. Like, he's literally, like, sitting next to trash cans, like, right at the beginning.
Right.
There's just trash on him. But, yeah, I guess that kind of goes into, like, the subtlety stuff that Grant was talking about. Like, there's definitely, like, parts where it's, like, kind of hitting you over the head with stuff. I guess the logic of the movie, which this goes into the screenplay of, like, how he, like, kills 3 people on a subway train, and like that leads to this whole uprising. I guess like the realism of that seems a little like strange to me. But yeah, especially when like they do the safe route of like they literally have these 3 cartoon characters try to like attack a woman, and then he like distracts them on accident with his laugh, and then it's like, because a lot of people say this movie glorifies violence, and like I mean it's definitely a violent movie, but like that's always like I don't think movies make people more violent. but but they definitely took the safe route of like, oh, like let's have the Joker, like he's gonna have to kill 3 people instead of having him like kill 3 normal people. He kills just 3 rich guys who are like literally like evil people. And so then you're like on his side,
caricatures.
And so I think that's, people had a problem that people were rooting for the Joker, but like in the movie, like with what he did there, like I feel like a lot of people would find it like okay, and I think that's why that whole debate started. But yeah, they weren't like real people.
Yeah, and I think another reason why this movie did so well at the box office, and first of all, because it's Joker, but second, we got another Joker, and this one wasn't Jared Leto.
Thank God for that.
It was a lot better. So I think that also boosted the ratings. Definitely don't think it's going to win this Best Picture. And it's also number 9 for me, so it's last also for me.
See, this is one of those that I think could like sneak and win it, and I really hope it doesn't. It's my least favorite.
Could be a sleeper.
Yeah, I hope it doesn't.
And I will say one final side note for me. That soundtrack is good. I don't care what Ralph says.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Yeah, Joaquin for sure. The score for sure is great. Should we go over all 11 nominations and see what we think? Or should we go on to the next one? What do you guys think?
Or we could briefly go over the next, or finish the rest of the best motion pictures, and then we could say which ones we want.
Well, no, I was going to say like for Joker, because Joker got nominated for 11 Oscars, and I was going to go over them one by one and see what you guys thought.
Yeah, you can just...
Yeah, go for it.
We'll give you our...
Hit them up? Okay.
reaction.
So we got Best Picture. We already gave our thoughts on that. Best Achievement in Directing. What do you guys think about that?
Nah, I mean, it's not like horrible, but like top 5, I would say no.
Yeah, I would say no. Not especially against the competition. Definitely no.
So top 5, I would agree. I would definitely say no. Especially when there are other directing efforts that are in consideration for big awards, like Jojo Rabbit. I think Taika Waititi could have made it in there for director, because he handled the tonal shifts of like comedy and satire and drama very well. It's a very hard thing to do. Even James Mangold for Ford v Ferrari, or Noah Baumbach for Marriage Story, even Martin Scorsese for The Irishman. It's like a lot of these other movies that are in consideration, I think directing could have gone to.
Oh, for sure. I think any of the other Best Picture movies, I would say I liked the directing better than this one.
Yeah, I will say the directing was definitely above average for Joker, but I don't think it's top 5 of the year, even in the limited selection that the Oscars have this year. But performance by an actor in a leading role, I think we all unanimously agree that that's a good one. Best Adapted Screenplay, I think we're in agreement that it definitely should not be there.
No, yeah.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Best Achievement in Cinematography. And I haven't seen this movie in a little while, so like some of the shots are kind of coming back to me, but like for the most part they really aren't. And I think this year overall like was a super strong year for like movies that are very well shot. Yeah. So I don't know about having cinematography in there either, for me anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's top 5, but like again, it was fine. I didn't like think it was bad. Yeah, just with like this year, I would say I wouldn't have it in there.
I wouldn't have it in there.
And then we have Best Achievement in Costume Design, which there's a costume in the movie.
I mean,
it's all dirty.
They
grimy.
have to have 5 nominees. So yeah, I mean, you could throw it in there, but it's not gonna win.
I don't think it's gonna win either.
Yeah,
at least in that category. Then we have makeup and hairstyling, which it could. No, actually, I don't think it's gonna win makeup and hairstyling because Bombshell.
Yeah, Bombshell's in there.
Yeah,
it's like the one.
I mean, and then it should, again, you could put it in there just because, but.
Yeah, again, it was fine.
I wouldn't take it out.
I feel like most of these, I'm gonna say it's fine, but like I'm not blown away by it.
The weird ones for me though that I couldn't really remember anything, like being extraordinary or anything in the movie, are both the sound categories it got nominated for. That kind of threw me for a loop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
besides
like
the score,
kind of like filling in the blanks with those two.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree
It's
with
like,
that.
oh, what other movies could we put in for sound mixing? Let's just do Joker. Because I don't know, I couldn't really think of anything where, like, oh, that was really well. I don't know. That was just kind of confusing to me that they were both there.
Mm-hmm.
All right, should we?
What about the score?
Well, I think we're all in agreement that score should be in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Just had to finish it off.
All right, should we move on to Little Women?
Let's do it.
Sure.
Okay, and so we got Little Women, directed by Greta Gerwig, starring Saoirse Ronan, Florence Pugh, and Emma Watson as the three main sisters. And then, who's the actress that plays the fourth sister? I've seen her in something. It's Eliza Scanlon. And then Laura Dern plays their mother. Timothy Chalamet is in the movie as well.
The
But
Street.
yeah, Meryl Streep.
The
And
Streep.
if the title sounds familiar at all, it's probably because it's been adapted like 10 times in various different movies and shows and whatnot. And I guess it's kind of hard for a synopsis for this movie. It's kind of just about like Jo March. It's like the main sister, Saoirse Ronan, as she's like writing a book based on her life and her family. Does that sound about right for a synopsis?
Yeah, just follows these
I would say
three
so.
little women. Or four little women.
And some other women, kind of.
Yeah.
As they get older,
And a guy.
kind of flashes back and forth, and we get a lot of
Yeah, we'll get
story.
into that. But, yeah, how do we feel about Little Women?
So for me, I liked the very last act, but that first act, maybe even like the first, I wouldn't say the first half. I would say it got better towards the middle, but that first like third of the movie kind of bored me, and I wasn't like intrigued yet, and the movie was kind of all over the place. Granted, we were still establishing the plot and the characters, but it just took forever for the plot to develop for me. I don't know.
I would agree with the first act being jarring. I felt the same way watching that. Yeah, just I guess the passage of time going back and forth. It was very, It definitely made me be like, wait, where are we? What's going on?
It just made it hard to get a grip on the characters, like, and who they are,
Yeah. Yeah, I would
for me.
agree with that. Yeah, I mean, the movie essentially is just, it follows these four women, obviously mainly Saoirse Ronan, just about, the lives that, like, women back then were, like, I guess subject to. They didn't really have tons of options, and then it's like Saoirse Ronan's trying to go against, the grain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel pretty much the same about the first act. It is kind of jarring seeing it go back and forth. And sometimes it is, like, in the second and third act as well, but by then I was definitely invested. It just kind of took a little while to get used to. And the second time I watched it, it was a little better as far as the first act. I would be kind of curious to see another iteration, because apparently none of the iterations, except for this one, have storytelling that is, like, non-linear. It's all
I guess-
told from beginning to end.
I guess we should mention that, like, none of us have seen the other ones, right? It's like we're all just...
No.
This is the first time we're seeing anything related to this, so... Yeah, I mean, I thought the acting was all really great.
Yeah, Florence Pugh and Timothy Chalamet were the standouts for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And Saoirse Ronan was very good as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's one of those movies that it's kind of like Lady Bird, which she directed before. It's like a nice movie. It's like fun, but it's like scene to scene. Like, I don't know how much I'm gonna remember of it.
Yeah, my favorite parts were definitely just like all the sisters hanging out, playing together, joking around. Like I liked seeing all of that, but there isn't a ton of that. It's more of them just isolated, like at different parts of their lives, depending on where we're at in the story.
Yeah, I was actually a little surprised that it was rated only PG. I was like, oh, it's been a while since I've seen a PG movie that isn't for kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the movie...
Are the other ones PG? Like, are the older ones PG?
The Little Women's, I'm sure they are. It's a pretty, like, safe story to tell, like a feel-good... Well, for the most part, feel-good type story.
Yeah.
Nothing too crazy. Everyone can walk in and at least get some enjoyment out of it.
Yeah.
And I did, for sure.
Yeah, I wasn't like...
Yeah, I got enjoyment out of it. Like I said, I like the ending.
Yeah, the ending was very good. I mean, should we spoil it or no?
I mean...
There isn't like
a
ton to spoil, but we should just... I don't think we should, at least
Yeah,
for now.
we'll leave it. But yeah, I mean, the ending I thought was good too. It definitely
does
made
something
sense.
a little different than the other ones.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Well, just based on what you told me about it, Grant. But yeah, I would agree. Like, to me, like if it wouldn't have ended this way, it would have been like kind of contradictory to like the main character. But
yeah, which makes me kind of hesitant to go back and check out another iteration.
The other ones. Yeah. I will say breaking the fourth wall when like people would read letters from one another was a little strange for me.
See, that worked for me. Because it's kind of just like that in the point of view of the character that the letter is being read to. And it's just, I don't know. That didn't really take me out of the movie.
I can see that. I just, like, for me, it was just like, oh, this person's just, like, talking to me right now.
Yeah, I wasn't like, oh, wow, this is, like, super cool. I was like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, other than that, like, yeah, there's nothing really memorable for me besides, a couple performances. And then, yeah, those scenes of all the, the girls hanging out. But yeah, I think that's about it for me. I guess I can.
Really? Or yeah, you can go ahead.
I can give my my ranking. I have it at 8 out of the 9. Then yeah, 6 out of 10. I mean, could go up to a 7. I don't really have an urge to watch it right now, but yeah, I would say out of the 9, I would say it's just above Joker.
So that is exactly where I have it placed, except for I have it at a 7 out of 10. I really like the production design, costume design. The 3 performances that I mentioned were very good. All the other acting was good too. There's no one that did a bad job in the movie by any means. But yeah, I don't think this movie has a shot to win Best Picture at all. I don't think it's going to win an Oscar at all, except for maybe costume design.
Yeah, I think costume design was the only category I think that I thought it was going to win. And I'd be happy with that if it won that. But it's definitely not going to win Best Picture, that's for sure. But I would place this one as 8 also. Seems like we all have it at an 8.
2 in a row.
But I did rate it a 7 out of 10. I did. I think what really turned the tide for me was the ending. And because originally it was like probably like a 5 or a 6 for me. And then all of a sudden the ending happened. I'm like, okay. Maybe I'll like it more on my second watch through. Who knows? Maybe I won't watch it a second time. No idea.
I have seen it a second time, and it wasn't as like charming and as fun the second time. Maybe it's just because I watched them like both viewings like really close to each other. But I mean, it's not a bad movie by any means, and it's definitely gonna stay at a 7. I don't think it's going anywhere. But the movie definitely did get better as it went on. So should we move on to Marriage Story?
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Alrighty, directed by Noah Baumbach. And I believe we have at least one of his movies featured on our Movie a Day reviews. That'd be The Squid and the Whale.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do. Go check it out.
So this movie is about two people that are going through a divorce. And that is basically all you really need to know about it. And it stars Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson. And they give two of the best performances of the year. And this movie is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed it. Yeah, I just love how it shows like the realism of divorce and just how like the system is set up to make each side hate each other and like try to take everything from each other, because like, you know, they're trying to do it amicably, but then, you know, the lawyers get involved and then it's like all trying to one up the other one for custody rights and stuff. And like, I feel like they did a good job portraying what that, you know, would look like. So
yeah, because it's really just like one thing. They just want to know like when the kid is going to be around, like each parent. They're just trying to decide that, and it just all of a sudden it just gets into all this nitty gritty, and they wanted to be friends, and then they started to hate each other, and it's just like, yeah, it's just the way that the system of divorce can tear people apart when it's really unnecessary.
Yeah, no, I agree. It was almost like they were trying to keep it together, and then it like Sky said, as soon as the lawyers got involved, everything just kind of fell apart. And yeah, this movie does a great job portraying that, and I totally agree. Very good performances all around. Very good movie.
Yeah, and
That's pretty much all I have to say on it.
yeah,
It's a pretty straightforward movie, but
it really is. It's a lot of great,
very
memorable
grounded
individual scenes. All the performances are stellar, especially Scarlett Johansson and Adam Driver, who I think should win, but I don't think either of them are somehow, with the way that the awards race is going. But we'll probably talk about that when the Oscars actually happen.
yeah, and there was a scene in this movie where Adam Driver and Scarlett Johansson are like arguing, like they're like yelling, like fighting with each other.
Yeah, it became a meme.
And I found out later on that entire scene was actually scripted, and it wasn't improv at all. Everything was word for word in that scene.
Yep.
Which is pretty crazy.
And it is based off of the director's actual real-life divorce. So I'm curious to see how much of that dialogue
actually
That's
heard.
why Noah Baumbach's movies are so sad.
and about divorce.
Yeah.
Yeah. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, I mean, literally everything about the movie I enjoyed. The only thing that, like, I guess is keeping me from, like, giving it a 10 is, like, I guess the situation to me of, like, I guess these characters, which I get, you know, it's based on his life, but there's, like, a director who's married to, like, one of his actresses, or actor, yeah, and, like, they're like, you know, both super wealthy going through this divorce, and it definitely feels very Hollywood, I guess, in that sense. And he does a good job grounding it, for sure. Like, it never took me out of the movie. But it's just something that, like, I guess I've thought about since watching it more and more. But yeah, I mean, everyone should see the movie, I would say. Just so everyone knows, like, they do a really good job of showing the legal process of divorce and how that affects, you know, the relationship.
What was the movie that we watched recently, Sky, where you were talking about, you're just like, oh, in order to solve this issue, all you got to do is sit down and talk. Oh, God, what movie were we watching where it was just like, the entire plot could have been solved by just the two main characters talking it out.
Oh,
I can't
jeez.
remember what
There's probably several.
It sounds familiar.
It's on the tip of my
Did I
tongue.
watch it with you guys?
I think so.
Well, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, it was one of the ones we watched. But this movie did do that. they talk a lot in this movie, and like even though they hated each other, they still got in the same room somehow, and they would talk, even though they would fight in some scenes and not fight in others. They still talked it out, like, and whereas this unnamed movie that I can't think of right now doesn't do.
Neither can I. I went through
Well,
like
I mean, I can
ratings.
think of one right now that also has an actress from this movie, Laura Dern's character in The Last Jedi, where she like doesn't have a conversation with Oscar
Yeah.
Isaac, and then that leads to just stuff happening that should never have happened. But yeah, like this movie, they have those conversations, and then even with that happening, the legal process just naturally will create this divide between the two. And so yeah, they did an excellent job of doing that whole process.
I agree 100%. But yeah, this movie is my third favorite of the best pictures. It is a 9 out of 10 for me. It could go up to a 10. I don't see it going down to an 8. And I don't think this movie, unfortunately, has a chance at winning Best Picture.
Yeah, I would agree. I don't think it has a chance either. I'd give it 9 out of 10. As for rankings, it's like so tough. I have it at 5 out of all of these 9, but like I've only seen it once. It could totally move up. I really like the movie. Like honestly, like the first, 5. I'm definitely gonna get if I can, if Netflix will actually release this movie.
I don't know if it's going to get an official Blu-ray release, but it is going to have a Criterion release.
I'll take it. That works.
Yeah, whatever way I can get a physical copy of the movie, I will definitely get it.
Was it The Death of Dick Long? Is that the movie? Where it's just like it would have been.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
good.
I don't
Driving
think you
nuts.
could have a conversation about that.
Yeah, I don't
It would
think
fix
right.
it.
that's a movie for potentially another time if we decide to talk about that movie.
Yeah, that's a movie that warrants
Yeah.
some discussion for sure.
Yeah, and some
Just
disclaimers
I can't think.
Yeah.
for if you go and decide to watch it, because man, oh man.
Yeah, we did not know what that was about.
Yeah.
That was interesting.
So what are your thoughts on Marriage Story?
Yeah.
Yeah, back to Marriage Story. Sorry, that was just on my mind. I gave it a 9 out of 10. Definitely good. Don't think it'll go up to a 10. It's very hard for me. I think I only gave out 110 this year.
So far, I'm the
2019.
same.
And I am going to put it as my number 2 movie
Nice.
out of the 9.
Nice.
All right, and that is Marriage Story. It is on Netflix, by the way. Very accessible. Definitely watch it if you get the chance. So our next movie we are talking about is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino's 9th movie, starring Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, and kind of Margot Robbie. We may or may not get into that. Yeah. So I'm kind of mixed on this movie. What do you guys think?
I liked it. I know what Scott is going to say, but let me get my thoughts in real quick. I liked it. I thought the performances were great. Leonardo DiCaprio knocked it out of the park. Brad Pitt also knocked it out of the park.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the setting of the movie. They really made it feel like it was back in like the late 60s, 70s. And it was very well done in that regard. Again, Quentin Tarantino doing his own spin on true events was hilarious. The payoff for that movie was so good for me. Like, I just loved the payoff in that, and it made me happy. Like, it made me laugh, and it was great. And yeah, all right, Sky, have at it.
Yeah. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I've seen this movie the most out of all of the Best Picture noms. Yeah, I mean, Brad Pitt in this movie is phenomenal. And then the relationship of him and Leonardo DiCaprio, who's also phenomenal. Yeah, to me, like this movie, the reason I like it so much, it's like just like a love letter to like movies in general. Just like their relationship with, you know, Cliff Booth being a stunt double and Rick Dalton being like an old timey actor, and how they're just like, they've just been buddies for like their whole lives, and they'll just like sit down and watch footage of Leo in movies and just like give commentary to movies. Like, just like makes me feel like I'm at home. Yeah, the first time I watched it, the Margot Robbie stuff took me out a little bit, because like throughout the whole movie, like it's kind of just there to I guess build anticipation, because if you know the true story about this, there's like some big events that happen in real life with her character of Sharon Tate. Mm-hmm. But watching it the second time and the third time, I don't know, I thought she did a great job at just being like this happy, joyous person, which I guess Sharon Tate really was. And I thought, captured that very well. Yeah, I mean, there's like subtle things in it I really like too, with like Timothy Olyphant playing like a cowboy, which he does on Justified. The layers of, again, like I guess relating to like the love for cinema of like Tarantino is literally filming a director who's filming a scene, and like it's all in like one take of like Leo and Timothy Olyphant like acting in a bar, and then like they ruin the take. It's like still being shot though from our perspective, and like they have to redo it again. And yeah, like you said, Ryan, the payoff was amazing. Yeah, the tension, it's when they're at the ranch and then at the very end is very good. Yeah, I don't know. I thoroughly love this movie.
So I am super mixed on this movie. So Leo and Brad Pitt are both great. The production design is super good. Although I think Parasites and 1917s are better, despite how insanely good this production design was. It was shot very well. But I don't know, like, the scenes for me are all individually really good. Like, there's some that I can just recall from memory right now. But it just doesn't really have a cohesion to me. It just, like, when you put scenes together and you're like, the movie starts here and ends here, it just, like, doesn't really, like, seem like a story to me. It just seems like things that are like put together, and it's like fun to watch, but like it's almost kind of random for me. It's like I just like wonder why these two characters are put into the life of like Sharon Tate, but they kind of aren't. It's just, I don't know, it's just a really weird, like, as far as like the writing goes for me.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that perspective. Because like Sharon Tate, it's just kind of showing you a little bit of her life with like Roman Polanski and like whatever that other guy was. And just, yeah, she's being happy going around, going to the Playboy Mansion, dancing, being in movies, which they actually have the real Sharon Tate being filmed on like that movie, which is interesting. And then, yeah, it mainly focuses on like Rick Dalton and Cliff Booth and like just like them, in movies. Like they're both old, can't get in things anymore. And yeah, just them dealing with that and then kind of becoming, I guess, heroes again, instead of like, the heavy, as like Al Pacino says to Leo. But yeah, I mean, I can definitely understand that perspective for sure. I don't know. All those scenes, it's got enough cohesion for me where I think it all works. I just feel like I just watched the whole movie and just feel like, like watching like a cinematic experience.
Yeah, like all the individual scenes, like most of them I can like recall. And like it puts a smile on my face for sure because of like how well they're made and like how memorable and like how well the acting is and all that. But like when I think of like the rest of the story, like in relation to that scene, it's just like weird. That's where it gets weird for me.
Yeah, no, I could definitely understand that perspective. For me, it didn't, but yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of hard to explain without like spoiling the movie, which I don't want to do just yet. We may do a
because
podcast
that
on
ending
it at some point. Yeah, the ending's pretty fun.
Yeah, the payoff is really really enjoyable. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I think was the main things for me without spoiling it. I mean, I give it 9 out of 10. It's weird. I have this movie as number 1 out of all of the movies for this year, but it's not my 10 out of 10. So, but yeah, give it 9 out of 10.
Suspicion we'll be getting to that movie soon.
Yeah. But
yeah. Yeah, no, I gave it a 9 out of 10 also. Thoroughly enjoyed it. And this one's going to be number 3 on my list.
Okay. So, it is a 7 out of 10 for me. It is 7 out of 9 on the Best Picture list. And I think this movie has a slim-ish chance to win Best Picture. I think I said, 1917 had the second best chance, and then Jojo Rabbit was like the dark horse. So I guess that would be like the 4th best. So I'd say Once Upon a Time would have the 3rd best chance.
Yeah,
I could see it winning for sure. I don't think it's the favorite, but
yeah, because it's like about Hollywood.
I could see it winning,
and it did really well at the Globes. The weird thing is, it did not get a screenplay nomination at the Writers Guild Awards.
Interesting.
A Tarantino movie. But yeah. So let's talk about The Irishman next. We'll save the last, because we have The Irishman and we have one more movie. I want to save that one for last. So we're gonna do The Irishman.
Yeah. Super long.
Yeah, yeah, 3.5 hours. Also on Netflix, so watch it at your own leisure. But Martin Scorsese directed the movie. It's got Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Joe Pesci, and a lot of other people. And it is about the life of what is Robert De Niro's character's name? It's Frank. It's Frank, but he's I forget his last name off the top of my head. But basically, it just recalls his life with Jimmy Hoffa and like other members of the mob. It's kind of about like regrets and family, and just it's a different like tone and feel for a mob movie. And I did enjoy this movie. I haven't seen it for a second time yet, and it is kind of hard to set aside 3.5 hours of the day, so I don't know when I'll be getting to it again. But what did you guys think of The Irishman?
Yeah, I thought it was solid. Like, it didn't do anything horrible besides, I guess there's like a couple stunts with De Niro where it's just like the guy is like, I mean, he's in his 70s, like
yeah,
I
De
mean,
Niro kicking the guy outside the shop.
Yeah,
could have been done a lot better.
Well, and just like his movements at parts, like where he's trying to be like 40, I'm assuming, with like the CGI face, which that kind of like, it's noticeable. It's definitely good. Like it's like, okay, they did a really good job doing that effect, but it still looks weird to me. And I notice it and kind of takes me out of the movie a little bit. But yeah, I mean, you know, the guys are older and they're trying to play like the whole life with like having the, you know, one actor do it all, which like I can appreciate, because like I hate when they get like, you know, a shittier actor to play a younger version. So like I get what they're trying to do. But yeah, it's like one of those movies where like the length of the movie definitely like you feel it for me, but like it has a purpose because it is trying to show this whole guy's life and the effects of his decisions and all that. But yeah, all the acting was really good. It's just, I don't know. I have no desire to see it again. Um, Directing was good. I really can't remember any scenes except for the scenes that kind of make me laugh a little bit with like De Niro trying to kick that guy. But
Oh, there's quite a few scenes I remember.
really,
I really like the scene of them talking about the fish in the car on the way to Jimmy Hoffa's, and I really like the scene with the meeting where like De Niro and or like Frank and Jimmy Hoffa go to like meet the guy, and the guy like shows up late. He shows up in shorts, and, like Jimmy Hoffa's like all pissed, and I really like that scene.
Yeah,
And then
that was good.
like the killing scenes are really good too, just like super quick.
yeah, they're brutal,
Yeah,
super
very
real,
well
for
shot.
Sure. Yeah, the movie's shot
it's-
very well.
Yeah, there's a lot this movie does really well. Yeah, Ryan, let's get you in here. What did you think about The Irishman?
Yeah, it was good. You know, I thought there was a lot of scenes that were really good, like we were talking about. But again, like it was long, and because of that, I felt like at times it would drag, and it's probably a little bit my fault that it would do that. Because like for a movie to be that long, you really gotta keep it interesting. And like when you think of long movies, you think of like The Godfathers, right? And they're like over 3 hours long. Those movies are more dialogue driven, and this movie definitely dialogue driven, but at the same time there was some really good action scenes in there that really mixed it up, and I did appreciate that, and it definitely kept me interested as it went on, as the movie went on. And the constant story of like, you know, it would jump from present to the past, and like in the past, you know, it was all about the Jimmy Hoffa story, and I wanted to know where that was gonna go, even though I googled it. And yeah, I don't know, I thought it was good. Scorsese again doing another mob movie, and
Very different mob movie though.
it's true.
It's not what I expected.
But, you know, so, yeah, and aside from De Niro's stunts, it was pretty good, you know? So,
Yeah, I mean, I remember it dragging very briefly, like once. I couldn't even remember like the exact time it was, but for the most part, the movie like went at a pretty brisk pace. The acting was all really good. Like most of the scenes I really liked. It was very well written. And yeah, it's just a really solid movie, and I do want to watch it again, but I just don't know when that time will come.
yeah, I think I rated it 7? No, maybe I gave it an 8. But when I watch it again, I mean, the nice thing about it being on Netflix also, I will add, is that since it is such a long movie, I can pause it and go to the bathroom or get a drink or get a snack. So that's kind of nice. I could not imagine watching this in a theater without like some sort of intermission.
Yeah. Back in the day with intermissions, that'd be pretty cool to see.
For sure. I know The Godfather had one back in the day.
Yeah, and the Hateful Eight, Tarantino's movie that came out in 2015, was supposed to have an intermission, but I guess it was only in like a few select theaters that it came with an intermission. So it's kind of disappointing for me to learn that when I went to see the movie, it didn't have the intermission.
Yeah, when we watched it, I was waiting for it. I was like, "Oh, when's the intermission gonna come?" I was kind of excited, and I was like, "Ooh."
Yeah, it's kind of like written into
This
the
is
movie
new.
too.
Yeah.
But yeah, The Irishman for me is like middle of the pack for the best pictures. I have it at 5. Gave it an 8 out of 10, and I don't think it has a chance to win. Not only best picture, I don't think it's gonna win a single Oscar except for maybe visual effects. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, for me, I'm gonna put it at number 6. It's definitely not gonna win Best Picture. It won't even be a dark horse, I don't think. Actually, Maybe it will be a dark horse. Maybe.
Yeah, it's one of.
I'll put it in the dark horses with.
Yeah, so Ryan, yours is for dark horse is Irish. Dark horse, is Irishman.
Yeah.
Skies, I believe, was what, Marriage? No, what was your dark horse?
Once Upon a Time.
I mean, Once Upon a Time was like I could see it winning. I don't know, dark horse.
Because mine would be JoJo.
Yeah, I would say JoJo. I mean, I could see Irishman winning it just for like Martin, and it's like a, a lifetime achievement for all these older actors. Like, I could see that happening, but I don't think it will.
The only problem is that it's a Netflix movie.
Yeah, I could see that being.
And Roma was like front runner to win, and then Green Book came in and pissed everyone off.
That was
ourselves
shocking.
included.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I have The Irishman at 7 out of the 9, and I also gave it a 7. Solid movie, but yeah.
Yeah, I just checked my IMDb ratings. I did give it a 7 out of 10.
Okay. All right, and this is the movie that I wanted to save for last. It is my favorite movie of the year. It is my favorite Best Picture of this year. It's in my top 3 of the decade. And it is one of my favorite foreign movies ever made. And it is Parasite, directed by Bong Joon-ho, who is, at this point, one of my favorite directors as well. And it's so hard to describe the plot of this movie without spoiling it, because I went into this movie pretty blind, which I think is how you should go into this movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I would basically just say it's like about this lower income family trying to weave their way into the lives of an upper class family. And then things happen. I'm trying to be super vague, but it's so good.
Yeah. Like I said, I gave it a 10. It's my second ranked movie, out of my own, personal choices, as well as out of these 9. I've only seen it once, and I have a feeling when I watch it again, I might even move it to my top one, just because I really can't think of another movie experience like this, and the plot is super unique. It's filmed so well. The acting's all super well. The themes of it are very subtle, and you can just I feel like there's a lot more you get out of it watching it multiple times. Thoroughly enjoyed it for sure. I would love it if this movie won. Part of me thinks if there ever is going to be a foreign movie that wins Best Picture, with how much hype this movie is getting, I could see it being this, but then I don't know, I'm so skeptical of the Academy. So it's tough, but
It's
yeah,
tough.
thoroughly.
What do you think, Ryan?
Thoroughly love it.
Yep, this is the one, man. This is the 10 out of 10 for 2019. My number 1 out of these 9 for sure. Very, very good movie. Again, I went in blind as well. I knew nothing about this movie. I just I heard that I should check it out. We went and saw it, and I was not disappointed in the least. I was there were so many scenes in the movie where I'm just oh my god. And it kept getting better and better and better as it was going on. And it would, looking through the glass of, a poor family, trying to, survive, but, also use the rich family to, I guess this is kind of getting into spoiler territory, isn't it?
Yeah, kinda. You should try to keep it vague, because I want people to go into this movie blind.
Yeah. It's good. It's a fun time.
It's even one of the genres for it on IMDb is comedy, and this movie is pretty funny.
Oh, it's definitely, I would
Right,
say,
it is.
a darker comedy. There's parts that I'm oh my god, that's so clever. It's so messed up. Or,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, just like all the visual storytelling as well, like the use of stairs, like in relation to the themes of the movie, the way the characters are going up or down the stairs, is where they're like classes and like wealth, and it's just so good. The production design as well, as I kind of mentioned, like the Once Upon a Time segment, super good. Like with like the house halfway underwater and just so many great scenes.
It does a great job with the theme, like the central theme of the movie and like stuff like that. Yeah, it's all done very well.
Yeah, this movie almost kind of did the themes that Joker was trying to do, like, way better.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that completely.
Mm-hmm.
Like, way better.
Sure.
Way more subtlety to it. Yeah.
Realistic.
Yeah.
I hope it wins. I would.
I really hope it does too. If it wins, I'll be really happy. I mean,
yeah, I will say,
let's get one. Let's get one for Bong Joe.
This is my prediction for Best Picture. This is what I think is gonna win. Because like everything I see of like every award show is just getting so much love and praise, and like standing ovations, and like this movie won the Screen Actors Guild for best like cast for a motion picture, and it's the first ever foreign movie to win that award. And I don't know, I think it's just like the hype is just still building. It's still
time.
still going.
It's
yeah,
time.
it needs to happen. It really needs to happen.
Yeah.
I think this movie is going to win. It's going to win foreign picture for sure.
Oh, yeah. It better win that.
I think it's going to win original screenplay, although that category is stacked this year. Because under original screenplay...
That's true.
Let's have a look here. Yeah, you got 1917, Marriage Story, Knives Out, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and Parasite.
Yeah, those are like some of the best movies of 2019. I'll put into one category.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't mind Knives Out winning screenplay, just because it's like the only Oscar it got nominated for somehow.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Parasite.
And that was a fun movie too.
Yeah. I think Parasite.
Like Parasite was fun. Knives Out was fun. I've never had that much fun in a theater.
It's a fun time.
In 1 year.
But yeah, Parasite's going to win screenplay, I think. Best original screenplay. I think it's going to win editing as well. And then I think it's going to win Best Picture with foreign. Because at the Directors Guild, they gave it to Sam Mendes. And usually if it's like a tight race between two movies, they kind of like to divvy it up with like Best Director going to one of them and Best Picture going to the other. And I could totally see them giving Director to Sam Mendes because he got the Directors Guild Award, and then giving Parasite Best Picture.
Yeah, I could see that.
So yeah, that's kind of my logic with that. So I definitely say Parasite has the best chance, with 1917 right behind it. Once Upon a Time having a the third best chance, like a slightly realistic chance at winning, and then Jojo Rabbit, I would say, is like the dark horse.
Yeah. I guess we will
I'd agree with that.
we will have to.
The Irishman, baby. Dark Horse.
I would be surprised, honestly, if that movie won anything at this point. The hype for that movie,
Yeah, I know.
like, it's just dropped so hard. Like I'm still surprised that De Niro didn't get nominated for like any acting in like any of the award shows, like the Globes, the SAG Awards, Oscars. And De Niro did a good job, I thought.
Yeah, he definitely did. I mean, he always does.
He doesn't like stomp people
he does.
outside the store too well, but I mean, is
He's
that
old.
really his fault?
Yeah. He's old.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think I would be so happy too. So it could be like my personal like bias getting in the way, but I think it's gonna be Parasite.
I hope so.
And I will
I hope
be
so.
as happy
me
as
too.
that winning as I was when Birdman won.
Still gotta watch Birdman.
Pretty great.
It's up there with Parasite for best of the decade for me. But yeah, those are the best picture, the 9 best picture nominees of 2019. Pretty great year for movies in general too. I have a feeling we'll be talking about a lot of the other 2019 movies at some point.
Oh yeah,
I,
there were so many good movies this year. I was happy.
we'll definitely get into some of them when we like talk about the actual award ceremony for the Oscars. We'll talk about what didn't get in, maybe what should have gotten in.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyone have any thoughts on any of the Best Picture nominees or anything else Oscar-wise before we wrap it up?
Nah, I think that's about it. I know we'll probably have a lot more to say once they announce all the winners. So just have to wait and see the results. See if the Academy will finally recognize a foreign film.
Let's see if they get it right. Yeah, I will say though, if 1917 wins, like, it is my second favorite movie of the year, so I couldn't be too mad. But man, if Parasite wins, that would just be so cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's so many good movies. Like, if Once Upon a Time, like I said, I have that as my number one right now. I would not be mad if it won. But yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Parasite. Like, cool, unique movies
Same.
like that. They got to get some visibility.
Yeah, it's already getting a American remake miniseries on HBO.
Oh God.
Apparently, Bong Joon-ho is involved though.
Ooh.
So yeah,
Well, that
you never know.
intrigues me.
I mean, I don't think it's gonna be as good, but we'll see. But yeah, so we had a little 11-month hiatus after we realized that we couldn't sustain a movie watch per day, a podcast recording, and all the editing and coordination with our schedules. So we changed the name, and we are coming back. I think we're going to shoot for, 2 podcasts a month? Does that sound about right?
Yeah.
Like a
Something like that.
bi-weekly type deal? Then that could change. You could go like once a month, could go once a week. Definitely not going to be once a day. Don't think we'll see a point where we ever go back to that, but you never know, I guess. Actually, we do know that's not happening again. But so yeah, that's the goal for now. We're looking for a bi-weekly 2 times a month. Well, yeah, it's good to be back. Good to be doing some podcasts again.
Yeah, it was good to record one again and just talk about movies. Like, because we would always sit in party chats and talk about it, but I'm like, let's just record. Like, and maybe people out there care about what we have to say. I don't know.
Yeah, and we're looking at all the descriptions, the creative descriptions that Ryan would come up with, and it's like, yeah, we gotta have him do some more of those.
Yeah.
So that was the ultimate deciding factor.
Yeah.
I'm so happy I could bring us all back together.
Your words inspire us.
But yeah, look forward to our podcast upcoming for the Oscar show. I think we'll probably have that uploaded by like Monday, maybe Tuesday, depending on how this new editing process goes, because we hope the quality's a little better than what our movie a day podcast was.
Yeah. Hopefully this is, crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying this out.
Yeah, it'll be a little
Slow
better for sure.
process.
Especially with all the like downtime we have in between recording. I'm definitely gonna try to get it as good as we can with like the time we have.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely check out all of the Best Picture nominees because they're all at the very least above average in quality. But especially check out Parasite because, wow, what a movie. But yeah, anything you guys want to add before we sign off until the Oscars?
No, I think that's about it.
I think we got it. We got her covered.
All right. I mean, I guess I should add, we still have like our Twitter and Facebook pages, don't we?
That we do.
Yep.
Yeah, give us a like and a follow on those. Leave a comment for like movie recommendations. We might start doing stuff like that, listening to you guys and getting the community involved as smaller as it is now or as large as it may get later. But yeah, give us a like as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But yeah, we are signing out for now.
Yeah, see you, everybody.
Yep, see you in the next one.